everybody. Look, I just wanted to get on here and talk about a few things. Because it's been a while since I've done some stuff like this. If you're watching this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. First things first, um, I'm aware I have a bump on my lip. I don't need nobody in the comments trying to point this out to me. Okay, just to clear the air. Okay, yes, I'm home. Yes, I've taken off my concealer. Um, just to clear the air, because I know somebody's gonna try to be smart. No, I don't have an STD. No, I don't have a herpes. I was using one of those electric razors to do my eyebrows. I don't know if you can tell from my eyebrows, but my eyebrows and hair are very, very thick. And anybody with coarse hair, you're supposed to do this in a different, even with your bikini line. So anyway, it's an inflamed hair bump. Okay. And the only reason why I'm explaining this is because whenever you teach high school kids, you always have to be prepared. But anyway, so I just want to put that out there. I don't want y'all to think I'm unaware. Okay. So anyway, Diddy. Diddy. I was never, I bopped to the Lil Kims and stuff like that. I mean, I never thought his music was like good. I always thought he was a freaking cornball. But that video where he mercilessly beat Cassie, I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. That was all I needed to know. But there are some things besides the obvious, because I don't even want to get into too far into the sexual deviancy, if you will. There were some things that I noticed. Number one, Sunny Hostin was talking about this on The View, because she, is a journalist by training and a lawyer. And she was in the courtroom. There are 12 men and 8 women on this jury. And as much as I wish that was a problem for obvious reasons, I can't. Because the way in which women are saying things like, well, that's what you get when you're a gold digger, and this, that, and the other. And they're, helping along with the narrative that men have. And Sunny Hostin was basically pointing out that a lot of the people she could tell on the jury were just kind of like, well, why didn't she leave? They had that kind of like, attitude. And when you've done that long enough, you could tell. It's like when you could tell something is wrong with a student, or when they're just being nasty or have an attitude or something like that. Like, you can tell, like, even if they don't ever express it out loud. And that bothered me. And I just want to say, Cassie is so fucking brave. Y'all don't know how hard it is to face the person who abused you after they abuse you physically. You go through all of that. I imagine you feel all kinds of things. Like, even she may have asked herself, why didn't I just leave? Why didn't I just try to escape? Why didn't I just let them kill me if I was trying to escape? Like those things. He met her when she was 19. Diddy was fucking 36. What the fuck does a 36-year-old man want to do with a 19-year-old, technically grown, but still a child? He's already the problem. That already was a problem. And for people to defend this or try to wipe away the video, let me tell you something. The level of rage, hatred, and anger and abuse we saw carry out in that video, that doesn't come from nowhere. That's not because you're drunk. That wasn't because you were fucked up and on drugs. That kind of abuse by men toward women specifically is something that is in them from the time they are young. They've typically watched their mothers be abused. They've typically learned this is the way to respond to women. They're very angry. And like, even when I watched that video, I was like, okay, maybe he'll walk away and be done. And he just kept on. He just fucking kept on. That in and of itself is enough. And I just hate that Cassie is up here fucking 8 months pregnant. with her third child with a man she seems to love and like and is married to. And I'm sure she has her own little tactics, like you may be looking through people and not at people. And people keep saying, oh, yeah, she's pregnant. People are going to be, that's going to bring up sympathy. And so fucking what? We don't know if he stomped babies out of her, for all we know. If she had an abortion, or if it was a choice, whether he forced it on her like he did other things. When you are that age, or at all, young girls, young women, period, can often, but certainly, in your 20s and late teens, you do feel pressure to sort of respond to men or males in a certain way because you're afraid they won't like you, because that's what they teach you. If something is wrong with the girl, if that's the case. And for her to still have to get up there, relive that shit. And that video was bad. Cassie is brave. And I applaud her, but I know this can't be easy. And my main concern is for her and that child, because the stress of this, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how well a lawyer preps you. There is no way she is really sleeping good at night knowing she got to go to court the next fucking day and tell this stuff over and over again. These freak offs, she had all these STIs, STDs. He's watching her have sex with other men. That's why I always said, y'all, these sort of open marriages and threesomes, I don't care what anybody says, that stuff is unnatural. And what I mean by that, and I do mean unnatural, okay? I'm not talking about a gay person with a gay person, a heterosexual with a heterosexual person. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about three people. Sex is a very intimate act. And that's why a lot of those threesomes and shit go wrong, because of the jealousy, because of what's supposed to be involved between two people. And the fact that a man can watch the woman he's with have sex with another man and get off on it, and then force her to do these things, that shit is sick, it's sadistic, and it's clear you don't give a fuck about her. But then, like, you're jealous. They said, he blew up Kid Cudi's car, allegedly, or something, when she was seeing him. Her and Michael B. Jordan had some sort of flirtatious relationship, and he called him and cursed him out, or whatever, threatened him or whatever. But this man has a habit, okay? Now, these are the other things. Misa Hilton. I'm not going to even go in on the walker. I didn't know she was on the walker. Last time I had heard about Misa Hilton, she was suing Mary J. Blige. That's why I just thought she was in life. Okay? Suing Mary J. Blige over her influence over an artist whose name I can't even remember, but his face and behavior I do, because he was that man on Marriage Boot Camp that time. That when him and Tahiri had gotten into it, all of a sudden he jumped on top of Tahiri and started choking her, and not a motherfucking man moved at all, with the exception of Dr. Ish. They didn't move to protect this woman at all. They would have moved quicker if he would have hit another man. That's some bitch shit. And that's who Misa Hilton and Mary J. Blige fighting over as an artist? The hell out of here with that. Okay? So Misa Hilton, I don't understand why you're there. You had a son with him 30 some odd years ago. Why the hell are you there supporting him with any fucking thing? Fuck him. Sarah Chapman, the mother of, I don't know if she was the break baby or, because I think that's the girl's name is Chance Combs, but she came like right after the twins or something like that. And I kept saying, who is that? Who is this and this man? And I saw the girls walking out behind them. And I don't care if they're 18, 17, 18. They are young. They have no business in that courtroom. Certainly about things like that. I can't imagine how this is affecting them. They knew Cassie for years. This is their dad's girlfriend. They know he abused her. And then it's all this twisted sex stuff. Like, these girls are just graduating high school. And now, in a time of graduations, I mean, New York is probably in June or whatever. I presume they're in New York. They have to spend it going to watch their father on trial. Like, first of all, Sarah Chapman, what the fuck are you doing? That your child, you and what appear to be your partner, are going to sit on Diddy's side of the courtroom to support him in fucking what? I don't know, because it seemed like that baby was kind of like y'all was just messing around while he was still with Kim. There is no way in hell that somebody who could carry out the kind of violence that Diddy has not been abusive to his children. I think a lot of them are also still showing up. And I'm talking about the older boys at this point, people who have a choice, because they're scared of him. And the girls. I think the girls are especially scared. The twins, because they've lost their mother. And that's why I don't understand. I don't understand why those girls at 18 are still constantly dressing just like the other one. It just gives some sort of weird fetishized vibe. I don't know. And not because I think they're like that, but I feel like this is like his idea. Their mother is gone. They're 18. They're twins. Like, they have to have some sense of separateness. And then they're always walking the same way. They're never walking beside each other. It's always with the other sister in the middle. It's a weird thing for me. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I don't feel like it's really their choice. And I say that I don't give a fuck if they're 18 the same way it wasn't Cassie's choice. This man is threatening to kill her, beating her, almost killing her, throwing her friend over the balcony who visited and threatening to kill her off the 17th floor in LA. Like, are you kidding me? That means this man, talk about no boundaries, abusive men, and we all know Diddy is not the only one who will literally physically hit your friends. They know no bounds. And I don't know how Sarah Chapman is made up. And you have a whole male partner. And y'all are going to sit behind this man? And support him for what? And what are you teaching your daughters? They should have never been in that courtroom. Not only should they have left, and that's why I checked today. They were in court today. And it was raining in New York. Bad. And the weather changed. That's why my throat is getting kind of... It's the pollen and the weather change. Y'all are some screwed up individuals. Misa Hilton, why the hell are you there? You have basically implied he abused you too. And we all know abusers, it doesn't matter who it is. They do it. To Kim, to everything else. Why the fuck do all y'all feel the need to come there and support him? Because honestly, the shit looks dumb as fuck to me. Weird, forced. It doesn't sit right with me. And his kids are so, I'm talking about the boys now, the older boys. Quincy, no, that's not his real father. But Quincy, you showing up, there's no way in hell Quincy didn't experience and therefore traumatized by his father's abuse of his mother. Quincy does not, like, what the fuck? Justin too. And that other, what's the other one? The one that looks just like him. That one, King Combs. And he was named in those lawsuits because he had learned that kind of behavior from his father. And I'm sorry, there are some things that you just don't need to know until you're ready. These girls need to be going off to college. Their faces don't need to be so public. And granted, yeah, I'm sure people would know them anyway, but I can't. And Justin Combs, like when I was at UCLA, I didn't teach him, but one of my friends, and I knew what it was to have those football players in there. But she was one of my friends who was a graduate assistant was teaching his son, and his son would go back and forth with her like, I don't even need this class. I mean, like, I don't even need college. Now, mind you, he there on a scholarship playing football. Talking about I don't need a college and I don't need this. And he was like, my father ain't never go to college. He made all this money. And she was like, you know what? You're right. But this is a class and you don't have to be like, he was one of those assholes. And I remember the incident. And like I said, I wasn't physically there that year because I was doing research in DC and for my dissertation. And I also remember the incident where he got into it with one of the white coaches at UCLA for how he was talking to his son. And I remember having mixed feelings when I heard about how violent it was, but also being an African American at a place like UCLA. And when I say literally, I was enraged almost every single day I stepped on UCLA's campus. The amount of racism, I remember thinking, maybe that motherfucker needed it. Nevertheless, I digress. But those children, they're children. Excuse me, they're legal, but nevertheless, people defending Diddy at this point, they're just as sick as he is. And psychologists have said, even if you have a man who abuses the mother of the child, right, or his wife or whatever, that even if nothing physically happens to the kid is just seeing it. Just even if they hear more than they see the abuse, it is still traumatizing. But I'm telling you right now, there is no way in hell he didn't abuse his kids either. And he's a narcissist. And we'll start to see it over time. Because they'll end up falling out. Because where there's abuse and narcissism, the siblings will eventually part ways. Because they're really angry with their father, and he's been manipulating them and using them any old kind of way for I don't know how long. All right, but y'all still following behind y'all's father at this point as grown fucking men. Misa and Justin, y'all need to get it together. And Sarah Chapman, you are fucking up. But I kind of knew you was a fucked up person, but still, god damn. All right, so this is something I would not normally talk about. Basketball Wives, for some reason, is still on television. Okay. It only caught my attention because there was a trailer that popped up, and Jackie's daughter apparently thought it was appropriate to put her hands on her mother. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Have your opinions. When that episode come out, let me tell you something. Raising your hand to your mother, that can't be the first time. I don't know what the fuck goes on in households that anybody could possibly think as a child. I don't care how fucking grown she is, that you should ever put your hands on your mother. Her being on this show to me just seemed like a really bad idea because I think she's still messy. Like, we don't remember her telling the truth about how her dark-skinned sister got treated by Jackie and then trying to go off on her sister on the internet. And it's clear Jackie shows a particular amount of favoritism toward her lighter complexion kids. Now, that's what it is. Now, that's colorism. Not that bullshit y'all do every time somebody gets in an argument. Nevertheless, hearing Evelyn tripping over Carl's cousin, getting conned at a $1,500. Granted, losing $1,500 is a big ass deal. Okay? For me, for regular people, so on and so forth. And Christian may have stole it. And he basically admitted that he took it and said, she should have been talking to me and not to Evelyn, this, that, and the other. Okay. But it sounds like you took it. Nothing about Christian, okay, let's just get this out the way, gives successful, gives business-minded. He looks like a kid. He talks like somebody who talks hoping you'll think he's smart. If he can just keep saying stuff, you'll forget it. Like the guy who did the Tulsa real estate, Jay Morrison. I remember seeing his face and I was like, this is the motherfucker y'all giving y'all's money to? I could just tell by looking at him he wasn't shit. But anyway, And yes, Jen, I have no idea why you married him or didn't or going around with him, but whatever. That's not the point. That is your business. Evelyn, you are a actually, you're a cornucopia of different kinds of whores that somebody can be across the globe. Um, I want you to. Why are you fucking worried about this $1,500? Why is that? Why are you even having a conversation with somebody you probably don't even talk to in your exes? I don't even know how much of an ex he was. You were a jump off. Um, and your mother, as far as we know, still lives in the South Bronx. Y'all, that's a shitty place to be. And this is not no shade, but them Bronx people be on something else. Okay? And you could trade in two of your bags and probably change their life. Your sister's husband, you were telling us, walked you down the aisle and he had told Chad to treat you right, this, that, and the other. And that man ended up dying of cancer. Her sister was upset. I even felt like in that scene years ago that she was basically like, her sister started crying. She was like, don't go there. And I was thinking to myself, bitch, you the one that should have your arm around your sister. They still working, living, trying to make it. And you got these goddamn cameras up in your mama's little apartment in the South Bronx. I'd be damned if she would have come in my house with that shit. No excuse. I don't want to hear, oh, they may not get back. No. You take care of your mama. You ain't had no problem flying your mama down when she was down there in Florida when you was on Ayala so you could throw her under the bus and so she could help you take care of Chad's kids. Don't play with me. That's what you need to be worried about. Fuck out of here. You screwed your way into everything you got. So, Jen, I happened to see as I was scrolling down TikTok because I wasn't really sleeping well last night. Jen got on the internet with Christian. I think that's his name. Chris or Christian? I can't remember. But y'all know who I'm talking about. And says, yes, I do think Evelyn has an issue with black women. She has an issue with black women every season. She's always fighting somebody. I agree. I agree with that statement. Also, Jen, however, you knew this bitch for 20 years and you ain't say shit about it. Huh? How many times has she said the N-word? And all y'all let her get away with it. I don't give a fuck about her being from New York. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. And when Latino people have said that around me, I have explained to them that is unacceptable. No, you don't just get to do it, Erica Mena. So I knew before all of this, when she was using the N-slur, I knew that time Jen was talking about her family or something like that. This was like, back when it was like good. And I remember her talking about her family and who was in it. And Evelyn said, oh, that's how you got that good hair. Because I was wondering, and something about that was very racist to me. And I know that won't stick out to everybody, but I was like, And to use that phrase, good hair, was already, it was even problematic, those early 2009, 2010. We had an understanding that was wrong. But the idea that I felt like Evelyn had been her friend and was wondering how she got that texture of hair, to me reeked of this kind of like jealousy, resentment, and just racist ideas about blackness. Okay? So I say that to say, Jenny, you've been around to know. And you the same one talking about, I grew up middle class, this, that, and the other. I didn't grow up this way. I didn't know what a food stamp was. Because you think you're different. And a lot of y'all think y'all different. And then you get reminded. Okay? Her calling and comparing OG to a monkey, shall I go on? Evelyn, your daughter is grown. And no, I don't feel like once people are grown, that we have to like protect them the way we would if a kid was 16, 17, 18, or, like on TV. Like I feel like for Mia Thornton's kids, because I feel bad for them that she does so much in front of the camera. But Evelyn, your daughter's grown, and she had a baby by the game. Okay, that name don't even ring like it once did. Even then, he was hot for 3 years. Really hot. You know what I mean? Like the 50 Cent days. But my thing is like, That may have been hot to have a baby by him in the early 2000s. It's not the move now. It's giving desperation. And yes, Jen was absolutely right. He is a felon. So what the fuck are you talking about? You're asking her why she married to a felon. Your daughter just had a baby by a felon. And you sitting up in her face talking about you don't know what it is to carry a child. You don't know what it is to be a mother, which was supposed to be a read. And Jen is like, Jen clearly chose not to have children. And you think that's a read? Evelyn, she had a baby by the game, and weren't y'all hanging out with his baby mama at one point? And not only is he a felon, let's be clear, not only is he a felon, the game has to pay a woman $7.1 million in damages, okay, to a reality dating show contestant after a jury found him liable for sexual battery in connection with an off-camera date as an Illinois federal appeals court on Thursday, well, not on Thursday, had decided he didn't deserve a new trial back in October of 2019. Bitch, you got bigger problems to worry about. So with the fact that he ain't paying that, the way y'all thought y'all was going to live and cash out on this baby, that also speaks volumes about how you train Shanice. And Shanice had a baby by a cornball ass motherfucker. I think Shanice is ugly as hell. I think she looks like a man. I think she looks the same age as her mother. But that's just me. All right? And I don't know. Don't show me nothing with no Shawnee's down low husband and her and them making money off exploiting people in the church. I ain't got time. But anyway, look, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.